Hello, and welcome to Let's Sip and Talk with Freema. Today, we're discussing a topic that a lot of people, a lot of individuals dread to discuss because it's something that people may overlook or pretend that's not happening, or could have been an accident and you just don't want to say anything about it. Or are we turning a blind eye to things that we are aware of? So today we're talking about child abuse. Make sure you guys chime in, give your thoughts, feedback, however you feel about it. What is child abuse to you? A lot of people feel like child abuse is just physically hitting on a child, when it's actually more than just physical. It can be mental, verbal, emotionally. So there's a plethora of things that can be considered child abuse. So I'll start with this whole quarantine thing that's going on and being home, kids out of school. I hear it a lot that by kids going to school, it's kind of, I don't want to say saving them, but it's preventing them from actually getting the whippings or the beatings, the verbal abuse from parents, siblings, or what have you. So when they go to school, they're kind of away from it. It's kind of their outlet. So what are your guys' thoughts on child abuse? Do people turn a blind eye to child abuse because it's a hard situation to deal with and it's something you don't want to get in between? If you notice or know someone that is abusing their children and then you don't respond to it, or you act like it didn't happen, are you engaging or allowing something like that to happen? Do you hold yourself responsible for someone else's doing when it's something that could have been done? Do you feel like you have to turn a blind eye because you just don't want to get into it? You don't want to get questioned. You don't want people to ask you questions. You don't want to be on the paperwork. Like, what is it that prevents people from actually speaking up when they know that a little person is actually getting abused or hurt, in some kind of way? What stops people from actually moving forward with reporting child abuse? I'm waiting for you guys to tune in. I know it's somebody out there. I know somebody knows somebody that has went through this. I know somebody that knows somebody that did not speak up. Why? Like, what held you back from not speaking up? Is it because it was your friend, your best friend, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle? Like, what stopped you from speaking up to help that little person out? Any stories, any concerns?
Well, actually, I dealt with, I used to be an in-house counselor for a transition program, 18-month program for students coming from DJJ and DSS. A lot of students, the children that I came in contact with was from the age of 12 to the age of 18. And some of their stories, you couldn't even imagine. From the mother allowing her boyfriend to sexually abuse her 13-year-old daughter and turn the other cheek as if nothing happened, to a newborn being left in custody of the father, and the father was on drugs, child wandering around age 4 and 6 years old trying to find food on her own.
Oh.
And then find out she was being molested by her father. I've heard so many different stories and read so many different stories. It's sad.
It's very sad. Like, so going back to the parent that left it with the father that was, on drugs, abused drugs. And a lot of people say that a person that's on drugs is I don't agree. That's just my opinion. But if it's an illness, are you now saying, okay, he didn't know what he was doing, he wasn't mentally there, or the drugs had him doing crazy things? Are we now? I just don't agree with it.
It's true. He was not there mentally. However, he still traumatized that child. That child will always, and I kept in contact with that particular student for, I want to say, about 10 years after I finished working there. She was finished with the program and everything. She was 18. She left. Didn't have a place to go or anything. She just, once she turned 18, we couldn't hold them no longer, and she decided to go. But I kept in contact with her because I know she was alone.
Right.
And she ended up going in the military.
Okay.
Yeah, she wanted to go to college, but unfortunately, you know, with financial aid, you have to prove that you're an independent student when you're under the age of 24. And she did not feel comfortable with other people reading those court documents. So
Yeah, about her.
So she decided to go into the military. And we lost contact, but from the last contact that I did have with her, she was doing good.
Well, that's good, but a lot of them, it don't turn out that way, and a lot of it leads into death. So, I mean, I guess it goes back to what I was originally saying. Like, when do you open your mouth? Like, when do you, like the teachers at school, I know they probably can tell when something's going on with a kid, or, you know, something of that sort. Do some people feel like, oh, I'm just being nosy, I'm stepping on something I shouldn't step on when I know it's something there, but they don't know for a fact, like they can't prove it? I mean, do we not say anything? I just...
Okay. I found myself in a situation. You all know we're out here, we have nothing but boys.
Mm-hmm.
So they fight, they get into things, they fall, they ride dirt bikes, do donuts, all kind of typical country boy stuff. Okay, this particular time, my son had an appointment for a wellness checkup. Yeah, and he cut his leg, being outside running around. You know, the doctor questioned him, how he got it, what happened, you know, everything under the sun. But she did question him.
But that's a good thing, though.
It is a good thing.
But
I mean, I got kind of offended because of the way it was handled. But yeah.
But some doctors, like, you know, some kids come in there malnutrition, if that's what it's called, malnourished. Where, because that's a sign of abuse too. You're not feeding your kid. I mean, I just don't understand. And I know people notice things about other people's kids, like their friends, or, you know, people you hang out in the clubs with. I know some people know individuals that's not doing right by their children, but they're not going to say anything.
Nope.
Until it's too late, and then people are putting, oh, you know, I knew her, or I knew something wasn't right. You're going to say all this once it's too late, but you're not going to pull a coattail and say, hey, you know, like, I've been over here since 12 o'clock this afternoon. We get ready to go to the club. It's 9. And you ain't feed little Joe, like, at all. But let's be honest. A lot of people aren't going to say anything because they don't want to feel like that's their problem or they're getting into their business, when that's neglect.
It is.
That's neglect. You somewhere for almost 9 hours and you have not seen that kid eat. Are we going to open our mouth, or we're just going to say, hey, let's get dressed, let's go out and not worry about it? Another thing. Go ahead.
I might not report them,
but you'll say something. At least, like, I know he hungry. If I'm hungry, I know he hungry.
And y'all know my house is open to kids, so I would have the child over there feeding the child or whatever. But
yeah, stuff has to be said, and we don't say a lot of stuff, and I think it's because of who we know or who the person may be that's doing the abusing. And again, it's not just physical. Like, you're not feeding little Joey all doggone day. And I know if I came over here, I ate before I came to your house, and now I'm hungry again, that means a couple hours already passed and he hasn't eaten since I got over here. That's a problem.
But mental can be just as worse as physical.
Yeah, it can. Verbal.
Yeah.
Like these parents that calls their daughters the B word, or you hoe, or you this and that. To me, that's like, oh my God.
Are you stupid?
Yeah, you stupid child, go sit down. Like, I just, that's name calling. That's a part of abuse. You know, and a lot of people don't look at it that way. And again, let me just stop myself. I am nowhere near a counselor. These are just my opinions. But those are signs of abuse. Like, you're downing that child by calling them these names, these V words, and these.
You acting slow right now.
Like, it just, you don't know. Like, kids go to school and have to deal with things. Then they got to come home and their moms or dads calling them out their names. That's a sign of abuse. If you know that you're doing that, just stop doing it. Just don't do it anymore. If you feel you got to call that child out their name, something makes you that angry, remove yourself. Go in your room. Sit down. Count to 10. Like, yeah, calling them ugly.
And I've encountered that before.
Wow. Sit your ugly behind down.
Looking just like your daddy.
Yeah, because you're mad about something.
Gosh, I hate that.
I don't
Like,
get it.
Stop bringing up the daddy when
You
start
That's
slept
because
with
they're
him.
hurt.
Yeah.
They're
But you
hurt.
slept with him.
Yeah. I never,
Mm-mm.
ever bring up kids.
Mm-mm.
No, you
Ever.
shouldn't do that. I don't
No.
care what dad got going on, what dad didn't do.
Or what y'all got
My
going
little
on.
one,
The
little
child
girls
don't have
like
anything
them,
to
but I
do
would
with it.
never
They do not. The
bring
kids
them
do not have anything to do with it. But a lot of that stems from that.
Yeah.
And a lot of it stems from I'm going to, and I hate to say it, but there's just certain circumstances, not all of them. Oh, I'm gonna trap him. I'm gonna get pregnant by him, and then when he don't do right, you're mad at the kid,
But have you ever witnessed someone that have different baby daddies?
and they treat one
them-
different.
Mhm.
No, I never encountered that.
You never did?
No.
Yes,
What?
you have. You just ain't think about it.
Who? Huh? But how? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you hold two of your other children that have different fathers up on a pedestal, but you treat this one completely different.
I don't think it's that.
You don't think it's
I think it's just like some moms, yeah, some dads. I think it's more so if they feel like this one is doing great, I don't need to really help them as much as, you know, these two need me more.
But
You
what
get what I'm
about
saying?
I understand that from a parent point of view. Now I do understand, and I've explained that to several people before. When they have issues with their parents, I tell them you have to realize, you as a parent, you know which one is your strongest child.
Right.
You know which one would be able to handle their own issues and which one need help, and you know which one need to be pushed. However, to me, it's the difference. I mean, even though like with mine, all three of mine are different personalities, blah blah blah. However, I do know which need what.
Yeah, but I'm
I
not
do
gonna make them feel bad.
Exactly.
Right.
And I still treat them all evenly.
Yeah, I get totally what you're saying. I just think in that situation, I don't think the dads have anything. I think it's more so of who she's end up being around. You
Okay.
get what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, they got her back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these two don't really have a support system, so I'm gonna lean on them more.
But still, why speak to them negative?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Because they always respected you as an individual and know they weren't going to give it back.
That's
and these
abuse.
other two, that's abuse. Exactly. That's why I say it's all different kinds of abuse
Yeah.
that we don't pay attention to.
Exactly.
And it's the truth. Just because, okay, I'm not going to talk back to my mama. So she going to bring it on me because she know them other two
Yeah,
kids going to
I'll
wail on her
probably fight 'em,
behind.
yeah.
Exactly. It's not fair. And we don't look at stuff like that. We got to be mindful of a lot of things that we encounter and do endure on our children that we don't think is abuse. Especially that name calling. Like, I don't know. Some people call names in public. Not saying it's good to do it like, you know, in your house. I'm not saying that, but you be out in public and you will hear a mom, if you don't sit your so and so down, your stupid
Now,
behind.
I ain't gonna lie.
And
I'm
da-da-da-da.
not gonna lie.
Stupid and
no, I
Carol.
ain't called none of mine that. But like I said, I have 3. All of them around 7 years apart. So they all are completely different. However, the oldest one, she was the baby for a long time. And she, yet to today, is, I mean, like a monster. She's, how can I put it? Spoiled. She's just plain out spoiled. And the baby is plain out spoiled. Which they done told me, a couple of people done came and said, your son bad as hell. Look, I know you ain't supposed to say that no child is bad or whatever. No, he's not. He's active. Anyway, he decided he wanted to test me up in the store. And yell out, I want this. I want this ball. So first thing I do was grab him by his arm, put a little bit of pressure on. You hurting me. You hurting me. Oh.
See, we would have had to go to the bathroom to that car.
Okay.
It's a difference, though.
No, but I mean, somebody walking up to you saying,
Well, of course they
you
gonna
know,
be
they
like,
gonna
"Oh, my God."
intervene. You know what I mean? So you know what I did. No, and I don't do the most conventional things that a parent should do. I let his arm go and let him finish, stretch out yelling in the middle of the aisle and walk off. Left him there. And when he realized he was by himself,
Right.
he stopped.
Yeah, we can't. yeah, you're not gonna pinch him to hurt him or kick him or do something fool. Yeah, they act crazy, and yeah, we have to discipline our kids because they'll run over us. But then just that little part of that, you know, you're not calling them stupid, you're not doing anything, but that little pressure on his arm, and then Mary Jo's walking by, and now she's calling the cops because she think you're hurting him. With technically, he feel like, oh, if I yell out, I'm gonna get what I want.
And you know what I told
And then
Mary
now
Jo?
it makes you nervous for even disciplining your child in public.
It don't, because I was approached.
Oh, God.
And you know what I told Mary Jo? I refuse to let anybody that I'm feeding, clothing, and sheltering talk to me or do anything. If that's the case, you do it.
I told lady,
Yeah, you ain't gonna
in the
disrespect
Walmart,
me.
Alex calls himself pumping his chest at me, yelling at me at Walmart, and I pop him right in his chest, right in the shoulder, quick, and I wouldn't do that in public. And I wouldn't let my 5-year-old suck on a pacifier, mind your business.
See, mind your
and she
business.
walk off. Don't play with me.
It goes to mind your business on certain things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, you popped him in the shoulder, and I wouldn't do that in public. But then if you just let these kids get away with every single thing, then now they just running haywire and feel they can do whatever they want to do.
Mary Jo.
And yeah, but then we seeing somebody doing something majorly, and then we don't want to speak up. It's because we got taught to mind our freaking business.
No, the majority
like
of the time, the ones that intervene are of different color.
I don't know. I just feel
Because I think a lot of them just don't understand the upbringing. It's different.
I think with different races, the upbringing is very different. Very, very
I
different.
have popped mine in the mouth.
I've popped Khalid in the mouth before when he was little because he kept cussing and kept doing it and kept doing it. It's like, Khalid, okay,
And
so let me do something to make you remember. If I say this again, then I'm going to get in trouble.
And I never had my kids to wash their mouth out with soap. However, when they brush their teeth, I make them hold mouthwash in there.
Burn a little mouth.
Burn a little bit. But I mean, it's mouthwash.
Yeah, it's not going to kill them.
No.
But yeah, I mean, as far as, you know, in the kids,
You might say it's child abuse.
they probably, it's just
and
different
abuse
things
and
with child
discipline.
abuse. Yeah, it's a difference with abuse and discipline. I totally agree with that. But some people just take it to the extreme. And some people don't realize what they're doing to their kids is a sign of abuse. Like I seen, and oh, it kills me. Gas station, grocery stores, Walmart, Superstore, I don't care where you're at. I see a mom or a dad and their kid is tagging along behind them, probably like 5 feet away from them. Like that burns me up. Do you not understand that anything can happen just that fast? And guess what? It happened so fast you didn't even know because he's behind you or somebody just snatched him up. I seen a young lady, the little boy couldn't have been no more than 2, maybe, because he was very small, probably almost 2. She's already in the car. He's trying to get in the car in the back seat.
That don't make sense.
Then fell out one time. Down his shoe, he got in successfully. Now his shoe's out there from
So
him
that
falling.
means she ain't buckling in.
She didn't do nothing. She was sitting in the driver's seat waiting for him to shut the door. He had to reach down and get his shoe from him falling. Now he's finally in the car.
Fella.
And it's like, are you serious? Do you not put him in the car first? So I know it's people who don't think about it, but that's stuff that we doing and not realizing like, oh my God,
Well,
things happen too fast.
I know it's been a couple of times that they probably would have called the police on me, and I probably would have got arrested
What?
for child abuse because I boxed my child. I chased one with scissors and I boxed.
Oh Lord.
No, no, I can explain. You know, when these teenagers go through these stages, when they're like 14, 15 years old, they start smelling themselves. And keep in mind, I have boys too.
Right.
So they're bigger than me. So matter of fact, your husband called me at work because he sized him up.
Just teenage boys.
He got on grandma. He didn't say nothing crazy. He wouldn't listen. So when I came home, he called himself raising up at me. Okay. The day you want to raise up at me and treat me like you're talking to somebody in the street is the day I'm going to treat you like somebody in the street. Let's box it up. I had him laid out on the floor. Now, I know if the police,
Yeah, you would've
Mary
been going
Jo
to
or
jail.
Mary Jane seen me, I was going to jail. But I refuse to have some little person that I birthed think he going to come in my household and not listen to what. And I'm not telling him nothing that wasn't reasonable. But you have rules here. And you're underage.
Yeah.
So you're going to follow them. The other situation, my daughter did the same thing. She was 15. And I did get the scissors, and I told her I would cut every dread out of her head if she disrespect me again.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
Sometimes we have to
let them think that.
Yeah.
I'm
Sometimes you have to let them think you're crazy, but
to keep them in order.
yeah, I wouldn't do anything that just going to like.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes it takes that. Say I would rather have them thinking I'm a little crazy, box them a little bit, versus letting the streets have my child.
Because if they don't learn to respect you, they ain't gonna respect no adult. That's just what it is. If you allow your child to cuss you out and like ram up at you, be ready to fight you, what you think they're gonna do to the next adult? And not saying you gotta knock them out and all this craziness, but it start when they little. You gotta show them. You know, you got to show them there's no fear in you because they're the child at the end of the day. But when it comes to the parents tying kids up and not feeding them because they feel like that's discipline, I don't understand it.
That's
okay,
cruel.
go to bed with no supper tonight.
That's being cruel.
I just, like, somebody explain that to me because I've heard it, you know, like, he was bad in school today. Guess what? Go wash, go to bed. You're not eating tonight.
That's hunger.
Please, please explain that to me. How do you feel comfortable in disciplining your child by not feeding them once they come home from school? Who to say they ate the nasty food at school? So now they didn't eat since. Don't eat. They be starving when they come home.
And then when they go to school, eating their breakfast and somebody else's breakfast.
Yeah.
Look at them crazy.
Exactly. And see, that goes to bullying. Okay, I didn't eat last night because the teacher called and say I slammed my pencil on the desk. You know, something stupid. Now I can't eat at home, so I'm extra hungry. And because Joseph told on me, I'm taking his breakfast in the morning too. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to take Joseph breakfast in the morning because he told. And I'm going to take John lunch because he the one told Joseph I did it. So now you got a bully on your hands because you forbidden him from eating dinner because you got a call from the teacher. I don't get it. That is a part of abuse, but we don't see it that way.
It goes into adulthood too because in one of my past relationships,
child abuse, Melvin.
He said that me and him used to box. We used to fight.
What, you and a classmate?
No, me and my ex.
Oh.
But he said the reason why he grew up in an abusive household, he watched his mom get abused, and he was abused, and he so claimed, which I think that's a bunch of bull because I think you can break the cycle.
I think you can break the cycle.
But yeah, he said that was one of the reasons he gave.
And it's probably the truth. I mean, is it true if you see something that's always going on in the household, then you gonna feel like you're supposed to do that?
No, that's not true.
I don't know. You can't tell how people feel. You can't tell if it's a learned behavior.
Some of it is a learned behavior, but in certain instances, if you do come across and you know right from wrong, if you are around other people, you have the ability to change if you want.
Oh yeah, I strongly believe that. I wouldn't let my past
pretty much
crutch on me at all. I just can't do it, but a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
a lot of people hold on to their past, and it goes into their adulthood.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with it, but I mean, who am I?
A lot of people don't have the
strength
or the mental
to move past
it or to understand it. Some people just get stuck. I mean, it affects everybody different. And some are strong, some are weak. Some commit suicide.
Yeah. I mean, is it fair? Like, do you think a woman that has abused her kid for so many years and finally someone took the children and maybe like 2 years passed, you know, she had to go to meetings and that she get her kids back?
I think, well, in a way, I think we need to let the children have a voice too.
I think so. And yes, some people handle things differently.
Yeah. We need to allow the children to have a voice.
What, meaning like I want to go back home to my mama?
Yeah, or I don't. That child knows.
Yeah,
it's just like your 2-year-old. If you take your 2-year-old to the daycare
and they screaming and hollering,
and when the next day it's time for them to go and they're screaming and hollering, what's the first thing come to your mind?
It's a reason they don't want to.
Exactly.
But a lot of people don't take heed to that, and that's even when you taking them over to whoever house.
But by me saying that is even a 2-year-old
knows
where they want to be.
I agree, and they know when they're being mistreated.
Exactly.
But us as adults, what we do, we
Oh, because
overlook
I gotta
it.
go to work.
I gotta go to work. He just crying because she don't let him do what he want to do.
Mhm.
That's the excuse we give. Oh,
But you don't know she popping him
Yeah.
across the fingers and everything.
or bending him back or pinching the mess out of him.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss B, don't let him do what he want to do. That's the only reason he's screaming and crying. No. You gotta look more into it. Miss B might be doing some extra stuff to your child, whether it's molesting him, pinching him, pulling his hair strand by strand, something you probably wouldn't even notice that she's doing. If these people are mentally retarded and sick to put their hands on their child or someone else's, they're gonna find a way to hurt that kid where it's not noticeable. Yeah, they're probably pulling strands of hair out that kid's hair, and you wouldn't think to look in a scalp. Let's be honest. Who thinks to look in their kid's scalp when they pick them up from daycare? Or they just rubbing their head, you thinking maybe he bumped it. Oh, he just bumped his head. He's all right. Pull some hair out his head.
But
Like,
then-
that's torture.
But then
we
in
don't think
some-
about stuff like
But then
that.
in some cases, and it has been flipped. You have some students that cry, don't want to come to school because they are not used to discipline.
That's true, too.
I mean, so it could
Be both ways, but that's what it takes you to kind of observe and pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can go both ways. I mean, because, the kids starting school. They ain't used to going to school. They used to being home. They going to cry carrying on. But
No, it's just like
eventually,
you know your child bad as hell, and you bring him to school. Then you want to complain because he been in timeout all
the time.
day. Yeah, because
Take
he
accountability.
kicking or
Talk to his
biting or
behind.
whatever,
Yeah.
But I done had several meetings with you, letting you know your child has a discipline
Exactly.
issue, but you failed to do anything about it.
that goes to, and I'm not going to say neglect, but you're neglecting that whole situation. And little Tommy is going to grow up to be a damn... Like, we need to put a hold on it. These teachers are telling you things. He's
Believe
getting
it.
red. He's getting red all week long because he's been acting up all week long. Have a conversation. Like, have a conversation. He's old enough to know what he's doing. Like, these 3-year-olds, they not crazy. They know what they're doing. They can listen. They can tell you things. If they can tell you,
everything.
she popped me, well, I was being bad. They know. Like, we got to have conversations
They
with
know
these
how to lie,
kids.
too.
And they know how to feel. But, hey, some people feel like they put their kids on this pedestal. They do no wrong.
Some people in denial.
And, yeah, they're in denial.
And I can tell you,
And it make it hard. It make
It
it
does.
hard for the caregivers. It make it hard for the
really
teachers. Because, I mean, come on. This goes to teachers, and I'm going to just say CNAs, nurses. Like, this have to be your calling. This have to be something you really
Takes a
enjoy
special
doing.
person.
Because if you know you're not a person that like to deal with children, then don't do it. You're playing with somebody else's life. You're playing with someone else's human being that they birth. You can't do that. If that's something you don't enjoy doing, don't do it. I don't understand how people work at these daycares and then want to hurt these children.
Because they don't have any patience, they have no business there.
So why are you even there? Why?
Paycheck.
Why?
It's like a lot of teachers are there for a paycheck, or because
They get summer break. I hear that a lot. I want to teach because I get summer break. Like, are you really teaching? Teachers don't give a uck about these kids.
I have a story about that one.
It's sad with him. It really is.
Now, I am one parent that know my children potential.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm saying the right word. In other words, I know my oldest will tell me, yeah, I cursed her out. Yeah, I did this. She will not lie. She would tell me
Right.
straight up what she did. The middle one would lie his tail off and look me straight in the eye. The little one would be
dog.
like, Mom, yeah, I did it, but
He got an excuse behind it.
he has an excuse behind it. However, I know my kids.
Right?
So when my little one come home and tell me, Mama, this teacher just don't like me. And then I keep getting phone calls about little stupid things and he keep getting written up in the same person. Keep in mind they got 6 teachers. But it's just one teacher. He keep getting
Seem like he'll
written
be
up.
acting out in each class. or something.
Exactly. So I make it my business to go have a meeting. Because they told me that was the proper protocol, because I said just remove him from out the class. So I went, had the conversation with the teacher. You wouldn't believe what this teacher had to
What?
tell me. Well, I'm a single parent too, and is everything okay at home? Maybe he's not getting enough attention.
Wow.
First off, he has his mom and his dad in his life. Second off, he's the baby, so he gets all the attention. Third, Did you know he was the baby of your class? Everybody else is 13. My baby is 11.
Lord.
So you didn't even know that he was the baby of the class. Quite naturally, he's going to want attention because he's not there yet mentally, because he still have a baby mind. He's not a teenager yet. But his classmates, his peers are teenagers. But you didn't know that. So how well do you know my child?
How well do they pay attention to each of the kids in class? You get what I'm saying? They don't. Yeah. Like we have to pay attention to, if we're going to be teachers, we're going to deal with the public. Well, not necessarily the public, but yeah, the public. But if you have these set students or these set group of people you deal with each day, I feel like learn each person.
And you know what?
You should know their personality.
Even though I teach not in a public school setting, but sometimes I do participate in certain activities on my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I do learn each. It's exhausting, but each student that I encounter that actually take the time out to talk to me, or sometimes I pick, talk and talk until they feel comfortable. Who?
Is that your daddy?
Yeah.
Tell him I'm on the show. I'll call him back. Sorry, y'all.
But in order to talk to the student, because you can't relate to every student the same way.
Exactly. It's something called a 16 personality test. You know that we used to take at my previous job, and it helps you learn people personality, because you can't deal with everybody the same. You just can't do it. Everybody's not brought up the same way. People think differently. Some people react differently. We have to learn each other's personality, and sometimes that helps. Douglas has said, little Tommy gonna kill mommy in the future. We would hope not, but let's keep, like Doug said, we just keep it real on Let's Sip and Talk. It starts from yay high.
Please pay attention if your children out there torturing animals. That's a sign.
Yeah, I heard like if they kill cats and stuff. I don't know why, but I heard that's a sign when they torture
any kind of animal
and do things. Now, I did tell Monty to kill a frog for me one day, but then I felt bad as he was doing it. But no more frogs came, so kudos to Monty for that. But just to go outside and be hurting animals and stuff like that, like how could you want to do that? You know what I mean?
But some do.
Ooh.
I mean, it's different signs that we need to pay attention.
That's what it boils down to. As parents, we have to pay attention to our children the same way we can pay attention to these men patterns. You know it. Oh, okay. Right. So yeah, we pay attention to them hard. We notice. Excuse me. We notice their patterns change. But are we paying attention to our children patterns the same way that we can pay attention to that man, or the same way you can pay attention to that woman?
You know, my kids are grown, but I can tell you which one didn't use the bathroom.
Yeah, we I'm be that much in the business.
Yeah,
like,
because it's a habit. I mean, they're in the house or whatever. I mean, they all have habits and they have routines. And something is off, but that just comes from, and it's hard. I am trying to break it because my kids two of them are adults now. But I mean, it's hard because I've been around.
Because you've been around and doing what you're supposed to do. We just have to be mindful, y'all. It's different. I just want to talk about this really quickly because I just want y'all to know that it's more than just physical abuse. It's way more than just physical abuse when it comes to children.
What about the boyfriend or the girlfriend discipline?
Oh,
other's child.
We talked about that before.
I read on the news, guy.
I see it all.
A 2-year-old in the face.
Oh,
that wasn't even his child. It was his girlfriend child, and they just started dating like months ago.
That
was he there by himself with the child?
I didn't say. I don't know.
Did y'all hear about the guy that killed? I can't remember how old the boy was. Maybe
one
2
that
or
was
3.
3 months old.
No, he was potty training him, and kept punching him.
Was it his child?
And he died. I think it was his child. But see, they said at first he lied and said he don't know what happened, but then he ended up telling the truth that he just snapped. Hitting on him during the potty training. And sometimes we get carried away with stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? like, come on.
Now, you know what? because I was a young parent, and it has been times, but thank you
What?
Y'all just don't know how much my sister helped me out with my firstborn.
That's what I wanted to keep her.
But I mean, like, in the middle of the night and stuff like, I would not hear her, period. And sometimes I find myself, I would actually cry with her.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, because, I mean, you didn't know what the baby, you were a new parent. You didn't know what the baby
I
wanted.
used to cry with her.
The baby would cry. The baby wouldn't be quiet. You done changed the diaper. You done fed her. You done try to burp her. You done wash her. You walk around. I've even put her in the car before and drove her around.
And she still cried?
And she still cried. And she had gas. They ended up having to take gas medicine. But me being a parent, a young parent, first time parent, I didn't know what was going on with her, so I got upset and started crying too. But I didn't shake her or anything like that. I just
Yeah, if you gotta walk off, walk off.
I had the twins. Lord, if it weren't for Tasia. I was dead tired, walking around like a zombie. And Tasia saw me. She said, go in the room and go to sleep. I got him. But sometimes it takes for you to walk off. I called their daddy, standing over them, 3 months old, screaming at him, telling him to shut up.
Like, what is that gonna
I
do?
told him to get the fuck out of my house. Don't, something was wrong. I said, why didn't you just check him out to see what was wrong? I had to bring him over here to Grandma, and Grandma seen that he was stopped up.
He was stopped up.
Was crying.
That was one of the times I had to come over to the house too. Yeah.
Like, no, why is you sitting there yelling? If you that irritated, walk out.
Walk out.
But that goes to, it takes a village. Because everybody need a break.
Everybody need a break. And you know what's so sad though? Sometimes people can be asking for a break or crying out for help, and people just don't want to help.
No. Hey, that's your responsibility.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I'm telling you I need help. I feel like I'm going crazy. And then you can't even get them for an hour. Nobody told you to have them.
CJ used to get them for me.
Nobody told you to have the kids. You get what I'm saying? It's like, well, darn, you know what? You're right. Maybe I shouldn't be here no more. Maybe the kids shouldn't be. And then boom. You got a whole tragedy going on because you couldn't even watch them for an hour.
But then you got some parents that don't want you to intervene, period. If I see little Bobby Joe going across the street and I'm yelling at him, don't you ever go across the street. You know you could get yourself killed going across the street. I mean,
it puts you in. A lot of people turn a blind eye to the abuse that they see is happening because it's like, damn, am I going to tell? And then Martha's going to get all her kids taken away. And
no, I'm talking about the next door neighbor see the child. Like, for instance.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. If you could save a life or...
Yeah, regardless of the pushback I'm going to get, but...
Well, I see this.
I have the conversation with the person first.
Boyfriend situation.
Yeah.
Watch his body language towards your child.
Yeah.
Watch your child body.
You can tell when somebody being fake.
That was jealous of Alex. He was definitely jealous of. I told him, that's my baby.
Yeah.
And I would never leave my kids
watch
alone.
your child. Your child will tell you.
So you gotta watch the body language. Alex didn't know anything. Alex had loved him. Alex wanted to play with him. Alex wanted to do anything. But if I used to catch glances at him, he used to be staring at him.
Yeah. Or maybe jerking away if you're trying to play with him or something.
That's just staring, giving them that stare, like, just go somewhere. Get him.
Yeah. Pay attention to all that.
Pay attention to body language. Look at the glances, how they look at your child.
Watch them while they don't know you watching them.
Yeah.
Somebody said, too bad I missed this topic because I have a whole lot to say on it. Oh, goodness, Sonya. Well, next time, we'll always come back. We spoke about domestic violence in January. We're going to bring that back up. So we'll always revisit topics because I know it's a lot that can be said, a lot that can be shared. But just thank you for tuning in. That meant a lot right there. But
one thing I would like to add, I've come across a lot of students. I've been dealing with students for about 20 years that have been in different backgrounds, upbringing, abuse, all, you name it, I've seen a lot of it.
I don't know.
The only thing that you can do is, it's not going to hurt you to be nice.
Right. Absolutely.
To listen. And sometimes, believe it or not, some of my students can be all the way up to 22, 23 years old. And I fuss, depending on the personality, I fuss at them like I fuss at my own kids.
Yeah.
And they accept it. They love it. I give them hugs. I treat them as their mine, and they really appreciate it.
Because some of them not getting it.
Some of them never had it.
Yeah.
So it's not going to hurt. It's free.
It's free to be kind. I mean, I don't see what's the purpose of being mean. I never understood it, even as a kid.
Misery
Like,
loves company.
what's the purpose?
Because they don't know nothing different.
I mean,
You ever, if you've been in a negative atmosphere majority of all your life, when somebody do come to you and be nice, first thing gonna come to mind is
why you
they
being so nice? Questioning every motive or everything.
Exactly. Because it's something new.
I don't know.
It makes them feel uncomfortable.
I don't know. But with the whole kid thing, with the step parents or the boyfriends, the girlfriends, I don't know. You could be around somebody for 3 months. You could be around somebody for 3 years, and you still
Don't know.
don't know. Somebody still could snap.
Don't be naive.
I guess
Don't
that's why I
be
made
nonchalant. Listen.
I guess
Listen
that's why
and
I
pay
made the,
attention.
decision to be. I made a promise to be single, or to myself, to the boys was in the 6th or 7th grade, because I know they'll be big enough to defend themselves if
Right.
something was to happen. But hopefully nothing won't happen. But I prefer to be by myself right now until they're adults.
I just would never let a male, I never lived with a male besides my ex-husband. So I never brought a male in over my children to live with.
Yeah, I
Me
just
either.
No,
just
I'm
saying,
just saying,
to-
if you
I
have
never
company
did
or
that.
something.
Me either.
Yeah, if I had company or something, they had to go. My kids were in a serious committed relationship, but I took and that's just me. I took the necessary because that was how I was raised. So I would introduce them, see how they interact, but we would be in a public place when they do interact with the kids or what have you.
Right.
And after a while, I would invite them to dinner or, movie night or something like that with the kids or whatever. But it's only been one person that's been around my kids.
And it's just, Chris said, April need to sit next to you during these talks. Sonya said we teach our kids that. Yeah. But, so you're dating someone, and some people wait, before they bring them around the kids, and some people don't. But, would you want that energy to see how their feet, or you going to wait a year to bring them
That's what I
around?
did with
I
the
wanna
last
know.
one that was 6 years ago. I want to see.
Holly, stop.
Slam that door.
I want to
See, that makes me want to.
I want to see how he act towards them. One of the twins he adore. The other twin he kind of was sideways, but with Alex,
I wonder why,
I
though.
said nope. And I knew it wasn't gonna work.
You can't tell
see,
me you
I
ain't
didn't
never
wanna-
come across a
I didn't wanna
child
be-
or a person that you just don't
Don't
think
vibe
so.
with? If they're very disrespectful.
And sometimes some kids are like that.
And y'all know Alex.
But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
I don't know. It was during the daytime he was fine, but it was the nighttime he was different. If you get what I'm saying, like drinking wise.
Oh, then
when he
no.
was sober,
It
he
was
was
the
fine.
alcohol.
It's the
But he
alcohol.
was sneaking and drinking, and I found that out later on that it was the alcohol that was turning him. And I don't know if he was hearing things, but it was like he kept
Early signs
Looking-
of schizophrenia.
looking at Alex differently. And
No.
No, that's
No.
scary. Even
And
with
I didn't want him to snap one night.
yeah.
I was asleep, and
But
he was
there-
in his room sleep. Alex was, but he texted me, "Mom, something not right. Can I come in your room?" He came in the room. He said, "Mom, I think we need to put the bed behind the door." And I was like, well, "What's going on?" He's like, "Something not right." So I had to call Jeremy and come over here and get him out the house
Oh God. That's
because he was
that's
back
freaky.
there saying
I got
stuff
static.
I couldn't hear because my room was on the other end, but Alex's room was right there. He was saying stuff
He have a mental
out
illness.
loud.
Yeah.
But Alex was hearing it, so I don't know if he was saying
have
things
a
saying he
mental
was going to hurt
illness.
him or what. But 6 years ago. But now you
Mm-mm.
know I'm crazy and I got Barney, so I'm not worried about
Right.
it.
Sonya said, I waited 6 months and he asked to meet my daughter. What was your response, Sonya? Did you find it weird that he wanted to meet your daughter, or he just felt like he loved you and he wanted to, meet your family, meet something that you love so dearly? Maybe, I hope it was a great outcome, but did you wait and say, no, I want you to meet her on my terms? Or did you give him what he asked for and allow him to meet your daughter? I don't
I had
know.
a situation with my daughter.
I think I'll just
My daughter
just gotta
blamed
play
me.
it. What?
for my soon-to-be husband. He's been in my daughter's life since she was what? Tasia had to be about 9. About 9 years old. She'd be 25 next. Well, not next month. In a couple of weeks. In a week or so.
Time.
She'll be 25 years old. However, he's been around them since she was 9. And she said he doesn't have the relationship that he has with my middle son. But he's been around my middle son since he was 2. But I had to explain to her, it's because you are a girl. I'm not going to put myself in no situation or put you in a situation to where anything could happen. So that's why I sheltered her and kept her with me. You didn't need to go around, you know, but she blamed me because I guess she looked at him as a father figure because he's been around so long.
Right.
But she was like, she feels she don't have the relationship that the other kids have because I kept her away from it.
I mean, that's understandable. He felt like he loved me and he wanted to be a family.
Oh,
and that's fair.
That's fair.
You know, because like I said, whether it's 6 months or 6 years, people are going to end up being whoever the heck they are to be. Whether you
Just
snapped or whether you got
signs.
That's it. That's what this whole segment's about. Just pay attention to the signs, to the red flags, to our children. Just pay attention to them more. They know a little more than we think.
One
they
sign
know.
for parents. If your child starts taking showers and everything, long showers, or covering up when they come past you when they normally don't, you know something ain't right.
Meaning they're starting to have sex or what?
Meaning they're starting to have sex or meaning somebody is molesting them.
Oh, God. I would hope not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have never. That's something I would have never, like. As a, would you get older and don't want mama or daddy to see you?
Yeah, but you know the difference. You will know the difference.
Plus years and they're still like father and daughter. And
See?
that's awesome. Yeah, that's good.
That's great.
Keep kudos to him.
Yeah. No, but you have some children you have to pay attention to. They separate themselves. It's the same as an adult.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
some
true.
people come around and everything, then all of a sudden they separate themselves. You know something not.
Something not right. Yeah, we just got to pay attention, you guys. I just wanted to talk about that because I think a lot of people misconstrue with the child abuse with just physical, not realizing it's mental, it's verbal, emotional, you know, making our kids feel bad about themselves, making them feel ugly. We're supposed to be their role model. So if we're down in them, can you imagine how it's making them feel? Can you imagine if they're taking it out on the next person in school or wherever?
To that child, you could talk about that child parent. The other
Yeah.
parent that's absent. So
Yep.
just be mindful of what you say.
Yeah, you got to be mindful of what you say to children. You got to be mindful of who you let be around your children, what they're doing around your children. All that plays a major part. We just have to be more proactive and diffuse situations before they even start. If we notice or they do stuff around their own children, you best believe mine not going around them. If you got your little kid that's being disrespectful to you and they think they're grown and they're not, then I don't want my kid to be around your child. So don't feel no type of way because Freema don't let her boys or Cadence come over to your kid's house. No, because yours are very disrespectful. So mine's not going to get that learned behavior and feel it's okay or whatever, because no. If they're doing it in the house, they're going to do it outside the house to another adult, and I don't need mine to be up around it. So we have to take accountability. We have to pay more attention, and we have to teach these kids as soon as they come out the womb. And I'm telling you, when I say come out the womb, come out the womb. Cadence was 3 days old, sitting between my legs getting their hair done. And ever since then, Cadence would ask me, I need my hair done. Mama, can you do my hair? Mama, can you do my hair? If I didn't do it, she would cry. Mom, I don't want to look like this. I want to, you know, so they learn. They learn very early. So we just pay attention to our children, teach them right from wrong, and be the best that we can be, because they look at us for that. Whether you don't think so or not, whether you think they don't pay attention to our moves, they're paying attention. So just be mindful. Science says some kids talk to their parents and the parents so caught up they don't listen. Absolutely. Be trying to tell you something and you too busy. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. You know, whatever, and that minute never comes. So now they're going to YouTube or Facebook or whatever, or they venting to the wrong person and getting the wrong advice when they tried to come to you first. So who can you fault? No one but
Mine
yourself.
Tell me some things I don't even want to.
Mine are very open. We about to start with that ball. Mine is very open, and I appreciate it. And that tells me it's time because she's about to start with the ball, y'all. So I really do. I just wanted to, speak about that and just share, like I said, sharing knowledge, giving feedback, people giving feedback, from their situations. It's not always a bad situation. So pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the people you be around that you're putting in your children's lives. Pay attention to those teachers. Pay attention to the homeboys that your husband bring over. Pay attention to the homegirls that your wife bring over. Pay attention to the way your child acts when these people are around. Pay attention to other children. Pay attention to their actions. Don't put your child in a situation that you wouldn't want to be in yourself. I don't care if you got to run to the grocery store. If you know these kids are just not doing right, they're disrespectful, don't do it. You just got to run to the grocery store with me. We'll take our chances with this whole COVID-19, and you going to the store with me rather than being next door to whoever house, and God knows what can happen in 2 minutes. You could be outside on the porch just talking, smoking a cigarette, drinking, and Uncle Johnny playing like he got a pee and in there touching your child. It happens so quick. We got to pay attention to that. So when your child try to talk to you, or you notice they're crying excessively because you're taking them somewhere, 9 times out of 10 they don't need to be there. So don't think they just don't want you to go hang out. It's for a reason. Maybe not all the time, but pay attention to the little things, y'all. Pay attention.
All the time when I get ready to leave her with her
Cadence used to cry with me, and I never.
All the time.
The thing is with I said Cadence, I meant Tasia. When I used to keep Tasia when she was little, she would cry, but I just sit on my leg and her little head just be moving. I'm looking at her from the back, and I was just like, oh, I couldn't even be mad, because she just so little. Her head looked like, where everybody at? I just let her sit there and cry, and I feel bad and want to hug on her. But anywho, y'all make sure if we see things, let's start now. Let's not turn a blind eye. That parents have to get mad. If that kid don't got nothing to eat, let's inbox, ask for help. Don't be ashamed. Everybody don't have it. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, and maybe towards the end of that week when it's time to get paid, maybe by Wednesday you just don't have it. Inbox somebody. Yeah. Inbox Let's Sip and Talk. We'll make it happen. This is not just Freeman. This is a team. As y'all see, April right here, Stacy. We even have Alan on board. We're a team.
And we do have outside people that
we want to help you guys. We don't come on.
That's the whole purpose.
This is the whole purpose. If y'all just now joining Let's Sip and Talk, November the 17th, 2019, and my whole purpose was to get it from other people's perspective, because I feel like talking, and just venting sometimes, or just hearing other people's story, you learn from that. So it's not that you're not gaining. I want people to gain from this by just listening to people talk and listen to people share their stories.
A lot of people really don't know us, but I've worked with students for over 20 years. Mama have worked with kids for over 30 years. You've been a mission coordinator, so our whole family, all we do is help. Stacy the same way. If she knows somebody hiring or what have you, she's there, and that's what we're basically here for. If we don't have the answers, I guarantee you we'll try to find it.
We will try to find it. Science said, I told my daughter's parents I felt their teacher was a child molester. They told me I had a New York mentality. Wow. You did your part, though, Sonya. That's all you could do. Sometimes we want to do more, and we feel like we have to do more, but sometimes what we do is enough. And I hate to say that. Sometimes once you did your part, that's all you can do.
But you have to be careful, too, because an allegation like that can ruin a person.
Yeah, that's true.
It
Slander
can
and stuff.
A person.
But y'all, I thank y'all so much for tuning in on this Sunday. We kind of switched it up because Friday I did an interview, and normally Friday would be open discussion. So I switched it up to Sunday as an open discussion. So I thank y'all for tuning in today on this lovely Sunday. I hope everybody had a great day, took their time, cooked some dinner. Demetria, she cooked some ham and macaroni, and she's bringing me a plate tomorrow, so I'm ready for that. Thanks, ya bestie. And, till next time, y'all, peace and love. Wednesday, we have, I think his name is, what is it? Jonah, if I'm right. I hope I'm not saying the wrong name. Coming on, Jonah is coming on Wednesday, so we'll be interviewing him. And you guys, again, thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. Make sure y'all enjoy y'all day. Peace and love.